Good evening, everyone. I am Scott McCutcheon with Soverance Studios. Tonight I'm going to show you how to attach a skeletal mesh actor to a pawn in UDK using sockets. So just a quick little show here. The reason I wanted to do this in the first place was to attach a shield to my pawn for a project I'm working on. And I wanted to, just have it working, so that's that. So here's how we're gonna do. The first thing that you're gonna want is, obviously, I assume if you're looking at this, that you probably know how to import skeletal meshes. For the case of a shield, you could use a static mesh as well, and I'm pretty sure it would work exactly the same way. So if you have your skeletal mesh already imported, you're going to right-click it and just copy full name to keyboard. That'll copy the entire path of this particular file from within the package, and you'll be good to go. That's pretty much all you need to do, so you can close out of UDK. Once you're done, just to go ahead and open up any text editor or whatever software you're using to manage your Unrealscript here, and you're going to go ahead and create a new class. This class will extend actor, as you'll see. I've already written mine out here, so you'll just basically name your class whatever you want to name it, and extend actor. You don't have to add anything in here, and for this particular tutorial you don't need to. So you'll set some default properties. The one you do want to pay attention to is this, the hard attached equals true. This is a Boolean value to ensure that this particular actor can be attached via sockets. Okay, so then you're just going to want to begin your object. It's going to be of class skeletal mesh component, and then you'll just name it whatever you want to name it. And then, of course, this is where your skeletal mesh will go. So when you type this out, skeletal mesh equals, you're just going to want to basically delete that and then paste in whatever you just copied to your clipboard, and this will give you skeletal mesh and then your path. So that'll be your package, sub-package, and then the file name, because I messed that all up. Yeah, so I went and scaled mine. You don't need to do that. And then in your object, last thing you're going to want to do is add the shield component. So you'll just type components.add, and then in parentheses will be the name of whatever object you just created. Go ahead and save that. Okay, and then you're going to want to open your Unreal front end and compile your code. Everything should be good to go, and you'll see it compiles your next package. So you can go ahead and open UDK again. Once UDK is open, the objective here will be to create a new archetype of your shield, right? So you have your skeletal mesh. How you're going to do that is in your content browser. You're going to go to actor classes. Once you're in actor classes, this will allow you to, I guess, create a whole bunch of cool stuff. What you're going to need to do is you're going to need to uncheck all of these boxes and then type the prefix of whatever you're looking for. In my case, my class you'll see was named Aegis Shield, so I'm just going to type in Aegis, and it should bring up the next actor. Once you find it, go ahead and right click it and create an archetype. You'll be able to select whatever package you want to save it in. In my case, I'm going to come down here and save it into this package, my inventory package, and just name it whatever you want to name it. I'm going to name it Aegis. Hit OK, and it'll create your new archetype. Knock yourself back over to the content browser and navigate to whatever package that you just saved your thing in, and you'll find it right here. The archetype, Aegis. Go ahead and right click it and save your package, and it'll save that. Then you're going to want to open it and hit properties. Just look through this stuff real quick. I don't think you need to do anything. No, not really. So go ahead and right click it again and if I can find it, copy full name to clipboard. Once you've got that, you can close UDK again. I don't need to save any of that. Go back into your text editor. You can ignore all this nonsense. And you're going to want to open your pawn class. Now my pawn class is pretty large, so you'll have to bear with me on this one while I kind of show you around. In your variables, you're going to need to create an archetype variable for the archetype that you just made. So you'll find it right here. I've made a shield variable, which is just var of a type archetype of type Aegis shield, which is the class we created earlier, and then I named it, the variable itself is shield archetype. Okay, when you come down here, and this is pretty much the meat and potatoes that will attach it to your socket. In your simulated event post begin play, you're going to make 3 local variables: a vector type variable named socket location, a rotator type variable named socket rotation, and a variable for your shield class, which I just named shield. Of this, and again, it's of type Aegis shield. Write your post begin play. You can forget about these 2 lines right here. This is just random information for other stuff I got in here. But this is what you're really going to concern yourself with, is this piece of highlighted code right here. This series of if statements is what's going to attach your skeletal mesh to your socket. Okay. Now I'm not going to go over the creation of sockets in this particular tutorial, but I assume if you're looking at this, you probably know how to find one. There's a bunch of tutorials out there for that. In this particular instance, we're just going to use a socket that I've already set up. So what you're going to do is you're going to write your first if statement, and this will be if the skeletal mesh is anything but equal to none. Alright, so as long as it's not none, this if statement will fire. Then we're going to write another if statement, which will be if the archetype is anything but none, which it is because we have one, and this mesh has this socket, okay, we're going to say that we get the location and rotation of the socket, okay, and then we'll spawn this archetype and attach it to these sockets. Okay, so basically, you know, you'll type all this nonsense here, and you'll see it's picking up the socket's location and rotation. My particular socket is named shield socket, so once it's found that, it attaches this archetype to that position in the world. And then you'll see here, which is the archetype that I've made, as long as it's not equal to none, this will set the shield to the base of this socket. Okay, this is actually the line of code that attaches it to your mesh. So you'll have shield.setBase, and then it attaches to the self, or our self, on your mesh in this socket. And what that's doing is it's allowing your skeletal mesh to travel in the location and rotation and stay stuck in that socket. So go ahead and close all that. And once you've got all that done, you can ignore a lot of this. This thing's almost 500 lines long, so ignore all that. You're going to come down to your default properties. Okay, there's 2 more things you need to do for your default properties. You need to ensure that you make something for your shield archetype, and this is where you copied your name to clipboard. So the name of your variable for your archetype that you created at the top of this file will be shield archetype equals, and then again you'll go and paste in whatever this is. So bam. Alright, in this case it was a file named Aegis in the package of soldier inventory, and it's a archetype of Aegis shield. Alright, so you can go ahead and save that. The next thing you need to ensure that you do is set this boolean value to true, to ensure that it can be base for pawns. that's just to make sure that, again, you can attach the skeletal mesh actor to this pawn. I think that's pretty much it. One issue I had is that I was using this particular pawn without these. I wasn't adding my actual skeletal mesh into the components. So you'll need to make sure that this is occurring, because I messed with this for a good hour before I figured it out. For your player pawn, where you actually define your mesh, you'll need to make sure that you say mesh equals and then the name of your object, and then add that to your components list. Once that's done, you should be good to go. So you can go and open your front end again, recompile all your scripts, and then once you open UDK again, you should be all set up and ready. So that's pretty much how you attach that stuff. Sure enough, there's the shield. This particular level didn't give him a weapon. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and follow me on YouTube. Thanks.